10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Oh, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? All right, so it is Tuesday evening, and we are here. And as the conservative whines is the name of this episode, I guess. So it's been like how many weeks later, and this still wait weeks? How about years? They started like first it was all the Trump merchandise that was getting bad sales that Bed Bath and Beyond threw out. I mean, seriously, if it's not moving, it's gone. That's corporate America. Um, and now it's the My Pillow products. Why? I think because in this country, no one wants to sit around and see anyone go bonkers about something that isn't sensible. And that's what that guy did. Seriously. So, my pillow's gone out of Bed Bath and Beyond. And people are going on about this. It's like, why? It's plain and simple. It's economics. If something doesn't work good for a business, the business gets rid of it. And by the way, we've had this where it was the opposite, where like businesses that didn't like liberal points of view went ahead, and now conservatives are complaining and rambling on that well, they're supposed to like all us. No, business only likes one thing. If your thing isn't making money, guess what? You're gone. That's the name of the game. And the guy who runs My Pillow has got to know this. And if he doesn't know it, at least his lawyers did. So this thing of, oh, woe is me, believe me, far from it. He's still hand over barrel, like raking in the money. He's not hurting. He's not suffering. Republicans are suffering because it's a blow to their ego. They're fine when it's someone out in Oshkoshville refusing to sell a cake to someone who's gay or bisexual on their wedding day, even if their wedding is to a partner which appears hetero, which basically means they look like a straight couple. They still have problems with it on the merits, and they'll be like, we have the right to deny. But the same people who say that all of a sudden have a problem when it's actual corporate America saying, you know what, this isn't good business for us. This guy does this, it loses us money. So before that happened, we're going to get them off the shelf. Now all of a sudden, they're indignant. Get over it. Get a life. Grow up. No one owes you anything. And I have to be the one to say it because establishment liberals and apologistic apologistic progressives are very soft on making this point, and it needs to be made. Just because it's not your thing, just because it's not the thing you want to see in the world, doesn't make a difference. This country is not here to serve you on your little pretentious throne. It is here to do what it does, to what it needs to do to function as an independent society, as a society of individuals. And if you don't get out, if you don't get that, if you truly cannot put that through your thick skull, let me say this once and let me say it again. And this is for everyone, regardless of gender, on this wall. If you cannot get the idea of individual freedoms through that thick skull of yours, that thick, moderate slash conservative skull, you do not belong in this country because that is the basic foundation. You may not like it. You may say, I have the right to impose my opinion and you don't have a right to have your own. But in that case, you need to leave this country and go to a tyranny where that is a normal practice. This country is not it. That needs to be put out there, first and foremost. Second, I mean, how did we even make it through the last 4 years of hypocrisy without thinking this was going to come back around? Conservatives always do this. They play the victim until they get control. Then they play this authoritarian. Then they lose control and they're the victim. Let me put it to you clearly. This country is about not one point of view. If you want that, move to a country that shares those ideals and that particular point of view. This is not it. We are not a monolithic, monocentric, mono whatever country where only one group of people are ruling consensus and enslave the rest. That's not how it works. Okay? Everything here is done by a multiplicitous consensus, which means it's the sharing of consensuses amongst majorities and minorities in agreement that makes our rule. And even that's not a true rule, which is why, every 6 seconds when someone breaks the law, even a conservative, you're not hung. In most countries, you would be. But here, it doesn't happen and it never will because law in this country doesn't mean that. It means law in this country means we come to a common sense agreement. For example, not every 2-year-old, a person who is either mentally or cognitively or whatever incapable of handling a gun should have it. And certainly not someone who has a criminal intent, a known criminal intent. So, yeah, I mean, that's common sense. And so we as a country come with that common sense consensus, agree on it, and then that becomes law. That's how it works. The reason why a lot of Republican trash did not pass through Congress had nothing to do with a liberal conspiracy. It had to do with the fact that this garbage was something almost no one could agree with. No one's going to agree with taking away someone's right to live or someone's right to make a living. I don't care how much you beautify it and wrap it up in ribbons. It is a no-go in this country. And that's the problem conservatives have. This is the problem conservatives have selling. And this is a problem why conservatives can't take the fact that people will actually disagree with them, that they will actually have an opinion. Yeah, seriously. What? Uh, Trump is in his basement in bunker. Yeah, it is. Seriously, isn't it? It's like finally, this stuff is finally coming to turn around. Now, I'm not saying like, yo, legitimately, if someone abuses power and it results in someone else's death, we call that negligence. And you do go to prison for that, regardless of what people want to think. And I guarantee you, if George Floyd was a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes, in 6 seconds, Chauvin would have been in prison for criminal negligence. The only reason it's taken this long is because he was not. And for those who say, but that was disconnected from the scenario, none of that was connected to the facts. And the fact Republicans have to bring it up in defense is no different than when someone brings up the fact that a woman wears a tight skirt as an excuse for rape. Has nothing to do with it. Keep it out. And Trump being in this basement, I absolutely adore at this point. Because seriously, the damage he did over the past 4 years will take a while to undo. And meanwhile, here's the fun fact. Conservatives are going to be jumping at the bit now. They are literally going to be chomping at the bit how the economy keeps sloping down. Well, guess what? Those were the economic reforms your president passed. Your president passed them. And now we're going to be paying for them all this while. You wanted this ride. And the fact you want to whine about it now is not, anyone else's problem but your own. You had a choice of voting someone responsible. You were the one saying most of this was a crap show. Then vote someone who was real. You didn't. And you voted a game show contestant to run a country. And now people are paying for it. What more can you say? So I guess that's about it for now. And I wish everyone a good night and take care. Bye.